Welcome to the Comedy Punch channel, you freaky funsters. Once again, we're trying to laugh through the pandemic, as I said yesterday. You know, we're all in lockdown at the moment and people are starting to go a little bit stir crazy. They've not got their usual routine, so why not just have a laugh? So I'm going to try to make you laugh. I'm not saying I'm going to succeed, but I am going to give it a go. So let's get started at laughing through this pandemic. There's this guy, he's just bought himself a brand new Jaguar F-Type and he's really pleased with it. He's just took it off the forecourt, he's in his 50s, he's driving along, he's playing with all the gadgets, and then he thinks, I wonder just how fast this car is. So he starts hitting the throttle and he's getting faster and faster as he goes down the road. All of a sudden he sees behind him blue lights. Well, by this time he's doing nearly 90 miles an hour and he thinks, oh my god, that's big speed. I'm going to get lots of points on my licence for this. And then he thinks, I wonder if I can outrun the coppers in this car. So he just buckles down, whacks his foot on the loud pedal, boots it down the road. 2 minutes and he's doing 120, 130 and the coppers are still keeping up with him, and then he comes to his senses and goes, oh my god, what do I think I'm doing? I'm trying to outrun the police, that's not going to happen. And so he just thinks, I've got to take the punishment, and he pulls over. Copper pulls up behind him, walks up to his driver's side and says, do you know how fast you were going, sir? And he goes, yeah, I was doing a lot, I'm ever so sorry. Copper takes a big sigh because he's not giving him attitude, and he just goes, you know what, it's Friday, I'm 20 minutes from finishing my shift, I'd get all the paperwork for this, so I'll tell you what, I'll make you a deal, sir. If you can give me a reason that I haven't heard before for the speed you were doing, I'm going to let you off. And the guy thinks for a second or two and goes, about 10 months ago, officer, my wife ran off with a copper. When I saw your blue lights in my rear window, I thought you were trying to give her back. The copper just taps the roof and says, you have a good weekend, sir, and walks back to his car. A young housewife's in her home and she hears at her front door and she thinks, oh, I wonder who that is. She goes and undoes the door and there's a guy stood there with a stern expression on his face and he says, have you got a vagina? She goes, I beg your pardon, get away from here, you dirty man. Slams the door in his face. She's a little bit upset by this. I mean, he never said hello, never said trying to sell anything or any of that nonsense. He just came out with that. So when her husband comes home that night, she says, I had a really strange visitor today. He says, oh yeah, who was it? She goes, I don't know. It was just a knock at the door and undid it. And he said, have you got a vagina? He says, I beg your pardon. He said, no, that's what I said. I was outraged to slam the door in his face. He says, well, you did right, darling. Anyway, the next day, she's working around the house and she hears at the front door again. She goes, oh, who's that? She goes to the front door, undoes it. There's the same guy stood there with a stern expression on his face and he said, have you got a vagina? She goes, I'll not answer questions like that. You don't deserve it. Get away from here. And she slams the door in his face again. Well, now she's really rattled. This is 2 days in a row that this guy's been knocking on her door. So when the husband comes home that night, she says to him, darling, that man came again and asked the same question. He goes, you're kidding. She says, no, I'm not. He came to the door and he asked exactly the same question. He goes, look, I'll tell you what, I've got tomorrow off. I'll stay here. And if he comes again, I'll deal with it. She goes, oh, thank you, sweetheart. That would put my mind at rest. So the next day, there's at the door. She goes, I bet that's him again. He goes, I'll tell you what, I'll hide behind the door. You open the door. And when he asks his question, answer it and we'll take it from there. But I'm here just in case it gets ugly. She goes, okay, I will. So she goes to the door, yanks it open. And the guy stood there with a stern face on it, and he goes, "Have you got a vagina?" And she says, "Yes, I have." He says, "Well, would you ask your husband to use yours instead of my wife's?" There's going to be some questions in that household. I bet he wish he wasn't behind that door anymore. There's a there's a drunk guy at a bar, and he sees this really attractive woman stood at the bar as well. So he goes over and he thinks he's being suave, but you know, he's drunk, so he's just coming across as an obnoxious drunk. And he's trying to chat her up, and she just has enough in the end. And she goes, "Do you know what?" She says, just stop. You're wasting your time. I'm a lesbian." And he goes, "Ah, oh, it's all right, sweetheart. I don't mind foreign buzz. What part of Lesbia are you from?" And she goes, "Oh my God. How do I get through to..." She goes, "Look, brain of Britain, let me explain it like this." And she turns him around and she says, "Do you see that gorgeous blonde over there?" And he goes, "Oh yeah, she's really pretty. She's beautiful." She says, "Yes. And what I want to do is take that beautiful blonde home with me and lick her from head to toe all night long. That's what a lesbian is." And he goes, "Bloody hell. I must be a lesbian because that's what I want to do to her." Listen, yesterday I made a thank you to the NHS and the truck drivers and that, but you know, there are so many other people that are helping out in this pandemic, and I don't just mean fire, ambulance and the police. Of course they've got their roles and they're still going to work and helping the public as they would, but there are those as well, like the water, the gas, the electric. They're still doing their jobs. They're still going to houses and fixing problems there if somebody's got a gas leak or if they get a major fuse go out. And I'm not talking the little trip boxes, I mean the big power fuses that only the power grid people can come and fix, and they're still doing that. So to you people, once again, thanks very much. You know, you're doing a great job and we do appreciate it. And of course, let's not miss out the people who work in the supermarkets. You know, they're pretty much the front line, and from day one when people were panic buying, they were the ones that were putting up with, let's just say, people's bad behaviour, because it was. They were the ones that were getting shouted at because there wasn't any toilet rolls. They're the ones that were getting complained to when there wasn't any hand sanitizer. It wasn't their fault, people were panic buying. But they've stuck it in, day out. They still go to work, they're still there, they're still taking, if not abuse, then people's less than stellar attitudes towards them. So I just want to say to you people out there who are going in every day to keep the shelves stocked as best as you can and basically corralling people who are acting a little childish, I just want to say thanks to you. I said this to several people at my local supermarket. I says, you know, we really do appreciate it. I said this to the face. And one of them said to me, "You know what, since this started, I feel like I'm coming to work to get ill," because they're still dealing with the public. But he was still there, still working. And that, I think that deserves a round of applause. Just like people gave the NHS a round of applause. So to you people, thanks very much. We really do appreciate it. And as I said, I don't know how often I'm going to keep uploading. This is the second day, day 2. I might do one each day because, you know, I'm at home like everybody else, so I just thought you might like a giggle. Speaking of that, when my daughter was 8, she's 20 years old now, but when she was 8, I said as a joke, I said, you know you're adopted, don't you? She was heartbroken, bless her. She was crying and almost hysterical, and I felt so bad that to this day I haven't told her I was joking. Listen, you people out there, you stay healthy, look after yourself, and have a giggle with me. Come on, visit the channel. Don't forget, hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the bell, that way you don't miss out on future content. And as always, if you want to, leave a comment. But I'll see you in the next video. But take care of yourself and stay at home. Bye bye now.
Oh, this you crazy mother.